Have you ever wondered why professional tech house tracks makes you want to dance and move to the beat instantly, while your drums just sit there, lifeless? The problem is, 90% of music producers are buried in sample packs searching for that magic drum loop, while professional producers are using their body's natural superpower to create grooves that hypnotize people. It's the same superpower you have, but not using it properly. In this video, I'm going to share my complete framework for creating professional tech house drums that will make your tracks groove and shake any dance floor. Today you will learn how to instantly feel the groove of your track using your body's essential ability, my exact process for making drums feel alive and dynamic, how to always pick the perfect drum sounds using the pimp method, and a simple technique for creating unique rhythms that makes your tracks stand out. And this is the track we're going to be working with today. So how do we achieve drums that hit like this? It starts with something most producers completely overlook: your own body's rhythm. Let me show you what I mean. The first critical mistake most producers make is trying to create drums with their mouths instead of their body. This leads to drums that sound robotic and programmed instead of performed. Think of drum programming like dancing with a partner. When you're dancing, you don't consciously calculate the timing between steps, you feel it. Yet, when most producers sit down to create drums, they become mathematicians instead of dancers. Here's a basic tech house beat that I programmed on my computer with my mouse, and this is how most producers approach it. Check it out. And here's what happened when I started to feel the groove of my track with the body and then program my drums. Check it out. The difference isn't in the technical execution, it is in the approach. One is calculated, the other is felt. So how do you apply this dancing approach to create grooves that feel natural? Let me show you my exact process. Before programming drums, play your bass line with main melodic elements and physically stand up. Move your body to the music for at least 30 seconds, finding where your body naturally wants to accentuate. Record yourself making vocal sounds as you dance to the beat. Use this recording as a reference while programming your drums. So I'm fired up, we're ready to record, and let me show you the full process from start to finish. Once you've identified where your drum should hit, the next challenge is making your groove feel alive. So let me show you how to do that. Even when you know where to place your drum hits, they can still sound flat and lifeless. Professional tracks have subtle variations that make the grooves feel natural. I've developed what I call the PDSA Framework for creating drums that sound alive and professional. Pulsation, aligning drums with the track's central groove. Dynamics, velocity variation for realistic performance. Swing, strategic groove application. And ADSR, envelope shaping for perfect sound character and dynamics. When I first started producing, my drums sounded something like this. But after applying the PDSA framework, they transformed to this. So let me show you how to apply the PDSA framework in your tracks. Pulsation. Identify your track's central groove, usually the bass line and the main melodic element. Solo the lead and the bass and start dancing to the beat. Use your body to identify what you want to accentuate. Align your drums with these accents. Make sure your drums and bass are not competing. Follow track's central groove. By the way, guys, if you liked the drum samples I'm using in this project, I'm gonna give away my favorite drum library for free, and it's the only drum library I've been using since 2020. It will work for any EDM genre, so you can download the library for free. The link is gonna be in the description so you can check it out. So let me show you how I would align my hi-hat to the central groove. So let's do one here. So you can see I'm using my body and my mouth throughout the whole production process, because the more you feel into the track, the better groove you will create. So make sure you do that too. So here's what we have, and let's pretend that we have flat MIDI, something like this, just for now. And then you repeat the process for the rest of the drums. So let me show you how the final result looks like. Dynamics. Select your hi-hat pattern and vary the velocity depending on the groove of the track. You'll feel what notes should be quiet and what loud. Step 2. Apply the same process to percussion and other sounds you have in your drums. Let's go like this. So I want the last note to poke a little bit, so we can go like something like this. Right? Do the little accent. I'm using my body. Again, just helps so much to see what we need here. So here, same thing. Let's create some dynamics. And then you repeat the process for the other drum sounds that you have. So let me show you the final result. Swing. Go to the groove pool and listen to different swings. I like MPC swings. The higher the number, the more swing you will have. Listen to how different swings feel with your track and pick the one that sounds best. Apply the swing to your drums, play with percentage and timing until it sounds good and makes the track feel alive. So this is the flat loop, no swing. So let's start with the timing, and I want you to pay attention to how the feel of the loop changes. So it becomes it becomes a little bit more dragged, and I like that. ADSR shaping. Solo your hi-hats together with a kick, bass, and lead. Make the ADSR short and start playing with it until it sounds good with the rest of the elements. Repeat the process for other drum sounds and make sure sounds are not overlapping with each other. Let's start with the claps, because this is one of the elements that anchors the whole thing. Let's start playing with the envelope. So we can make it a little bit shorter as a starting point and then fine tune if we need it longer, because it changes the vibe of the whole track, as you can hear. So I think the sweet spot is going to be here. And as you go and fine tune the ADSR envelope for every single element, we're going to get the final sound. This is the fine tuned version, which is going to sound something like this. Now that your drums have a good groove, we need to make sure they sound professional. The third critical element is picking the sounds that work well together. You can have a good groove on dynamics, but if your sound selection sucks, your drums will still sound amateur. Most producers waste hours scrolling through sample packs without a clear direction. Think about sound selection like getting dressed for a night out. You wanna wear a tuxedo jacket with swimming shorts and hiking boots, right? Yet, that's exactly what many producers do with their drum selection. What you need is what I call the PIMP method, professional integration of matching percussion. I just had to come up with a cool name so you remember it, but it's my method for selecting drum sounds that work perfectly together, just like a well-picked outfit, just like the one that I have. So let me show you my exact process for implementing the PIMP method to always pick drum sounds that will make your grooves sound professional. Step 1. Reference track analysis. Choose a reference track where you like the drums. Listen carefully to the character of each drum element. Pay attention to how drums sound together. We're not going to be using a reference track for this project because I created something cool. I like the drums and I can explain my thinking process step by step. But if you're starting from scratch, I really suggest that you do get a reference because it's going to make the whole process more easy and smooth. Because this is a repeating pattern. I coach dozens of producers and I see this thing coming up and up again. You start a track from scratch and then you don't know exactly where you want to go, what kind of samples, loops, ideas you want to use. And then you just spend hours trying to figure this stuff out. Just start with the guideline, which is the reference, and it's gonna be a lot easier. Step 2, define your PIMP profile. Write down 3 to 5 specific character traits for the overall drum kit. Is the overall vibe clean or dirty distorted? Is the frequency balance bright or dark? Are the transients sharp or smooth? These traits become your PIMP profile, the sound character you're aiming for. For the character, I wanted to have clean and transparent drums. For balance, I wanted moderately bright, but more to the darker side balance. Dynamics, short, tight, and snappy, and style, a bit weird and glitchy, plus a little bit of that organic feel. So with these characteristics in mind, I want you to listen to my drum loop and really see if you can feel the vibe that I'm describing here. So once you've identified the vibe that you want to have for your drums, it's going to be a lot easier for you to then just pick the right sounds that actually fit the vibe. So let's go to step number 3, the dress code method. When choosing individual drum sounds, think of them as pieces of an outfit that must match. Play your reference alongside each sample you're auditioning. Ask, does this sample belong in the same style as my reference? If it doesn't fit immediately, move on instead of trying to force it to work. The cohesion test. Once you selected all your drum sounds, play them together for just 15 to 30 seconds with kick, bass, and lead. You should immediately feel if they sound good together. If one element stands out as not fitting, replace it. Trust your feeling. If something sounds off, it is off. The first loop follows the dress code of the track. It's minimal, glitchy, and doesn't stick out or kill the vibe of the track. Just like my outfit, the second loop grabs a little bit more attention. You can think of the loop as a shirt I have with this bright and catchy pattern. The third loop still fits the dress code, but it's a bit more attention grabbing, just like my jeans jacket. It's bright and introduces a new vibe. The drums here sound completely random. It's not cohesive as they belong to a different style of the track. This is a little bit better. Some drum shots sound okay, but overall it still doesn't fit and sounds random. Now that you have drum sounds that work well together, let me share my favorite technique for creating unique grooves. This technique doesn't require any music theory knowledge. Even with a good sound selection, your tracks may still sound generic because you are using the loops that everyone else is using. To stand out, you need to create rhythms that sound uniquely yours. When I'm stuck in a creative rut with my drums, I don't turn to sample packs or YouTube tutorials, I turn to this. So let me show you how I created the main groove for my track using just my voice. Here's my simple 3-step process for beatboxing so you can create unique drum grooves. Open a new audio track in your DAW, play your kick, bass, and main lead sound. Record yourself beatboxing along for 1-2 minutes. You can also use your hands to drum on a table. Don't overthink it, just follow your natural instincts. Listen back to your recording and identify the strongest 4 to 8 bar section. Mark the timing of each sound you made. Categorize each sound, was it hat, percussion, and so on. Use color coding for different sounds. I want to play you the recording so you can really feel how it goes with the groove of the track. Step 3. Translation to drums. Replace each vocal sound with the appropriate drum sample. Maintain the exact timing from your vocal performance. Apply the PDSA framework for additional polish. Now let me show you what I came up with. And I made a hi-hat here. This is essentially the same hi-hat that we had in the previous step. I just put it as a new channel. So check it out. How it goes with the lead. And then I picked some more samples to emphasize these little sections. If we go here, have a listen. So this is the clap that we have, like it's a reversed, pre-delayed clap. Right? So the accent here really anchors the beat. And then I put something more, but these percussions in the main drop, I don't think they are super obvious. So I would keep them for the intro of the track or something like that. Check it out. This is really cool. And then we have the main accent, which is gonna be this glitch. And I'm layering that with the percussion, and it really, really reinforces and emphasizes the groove. And then I lay this like this. You can put some processing to make it more obvious. And then we can go with the full drum loop, which sounds like this. So let's recap what we just learned. Always feel the groove physically before programming drums. Use the PDSA framework to create dynamic and realistic drums. Select drum sounds using the pimp method to make them sound cohesive, and use beatboxing to create unique grooves. But even with great drums, you still need a bass line that carries the energy of the whole track. So in my next video here, I'm going to share my complete system for creating layered tech house bass lines that groove hard, sounds clean, professional, polished, just like in the pro track. So you can check out the video here.